So, all right, team, once again, thank you so much for joining us. So, today in today's session, we'll be learning about YAML. Why it is important, we'll understand. First, let us understand what is YAML. So, YAML is nothing but, if you short form, it's a distinct full form, it is yet another markup language. It's a human readable format used for configuration files, data, actions, and defining the workflow in DevOps. Use indentation space, not tabs. That means whenever basically first thing it is a yet another markup language, right? Which is easy for human to read it because as compared to any other language, programming language or anything, that is much more difficult to understand. But when it comes to the YAML, it's much simpler. So here, if you remember whatever we have, let's say you want to use this thing, we normally use a tab. But when comes to the YAML syntax, try to always use the space, not the tab. That means this always you need to, the indentation works based on the space. Okay. If your indentation is not good or not in the right format, then you may end up doing some other it may fail or it may be the data type may change it. So I will show you that later anyway. And YAML files have dot YAML or dot YML extensions. That means whenever you're writing any files or anything script for YAML, you need to define dot YAML, YAML or just YAML, YML, right? So this both works fine. There's nothing different. So it is all your choice. Okay. So you can use YAML or YAML. That's the first thing. Second thing we need to understand YAML syntax rule. First thing, as I told, it basically key value pairs. Now, what this mean by key value? We have learned in Terraform also, right? Key and value pair. Similar way here also we have something called as key value pairs. And this is some of the things we have to list is nothing but is arrays. Now, dictionary, we need to understand what is dictionary. Dictionary basically within the particular this thing having some other information mapping. Just like in Terraform, yesterday we tried to create some storage account using mapping, right? Similar way can also have a many information within the dictionary. Now, then we have multiple strings. You may doing different strings. Let's say in the same line you can have a different string value, right? That case how we can define that also we'll see. And then also comments, how we can comment it. Comment means to basically to understand better, based on the task that you're going to do it, right? To comment it about something. And also reference and like this thing, environment variables. These are some of the things we need to understand. Then we have data types in YAML. The first one is very simple. It is a string. String everybody knows. Now, string is nothing but, now if you see here, this is a key, this is a value pair, right? So this is why together call as a key value pair here, right? Key value pair. Now, key is nothing but this is a key, this is your value. That means key is nothing but it's a name, value is nothing but it's a name of the person. Question is, if you see here, we use a double quotes. Double quotes, why we are using? Because name is a string. This is why we use a double quotes here. Now, same way, city also, it is also another string, right? So this is why I have to use double quotes, name of the city. Same way, message means, if you see here, I have not defined any kind of quotes here, right? Double quotes or anything, because it's just a norm, this is a message. So I can mention something like this, welcome to YAML, something like that. And then we'll try to understand the list, that is like this thing, right? List, we have a say for example list. I have a fruits. Everybody knows what fruits are. In fruits, let's say I want to list all the list of the fruits. How I can do that? I have to use a dash here. Again, need to remember how many dash we have here. Here we need to give a two space here, not the tab. I'm saying two space because if you remember the rule here, it is clearly mentioned you have to use a space, not tab, right? So let's not forget this indentation. So I need to give a two space. So, and then if you want to list all of the fruit within here, because as I told you, this is a list or arrays, I can define something like this: apple, banana, orange, and so on. So another way I can also do something like this. This is what is, if you want to list everything, this is called a square bracket, right? This is all square bracket. That means I can define like this also. Put works fine. But in what is it, if you talk about the YAML syntax mostly, maybe I what I see mostly is this one I could see. But yes, if you want, you can do something like this also. I mostly see using in Terraform. Okay, like this also we can see. But let us see in action. Okay, small action. I'll just give a notes. For now, what I'll do, you can ignore this script file. This is a Terraform, but I'm just trying to show you because it's important. I will do one thing. I will create one folder here. I mean file called as a yes, a first YAML, or you can just mention basic dot YAML or YAML as you type here, right? Oh, sorry, YAML, right? So if you type like this, now you see something like this, right? It is now, if you type something not come. So there is something called as a extensions. Go here, where you have to go. There is an extension right here. I have to install the extension for the YAML as well. But I will give you notes as well, don't worry. But just making things simple, I'll just simply type YAML extension or just YAML. So as you type here, you would see something like this. So you can choose either one, depends on whichever you want. But yeah, if you want to explore, you can check. This is from the Red Hat, and you can see this many people have downloaded, right? So maybe for me this looks good. Maybe if you want to try better, you may see this also. This has a less this thing, right? Reviews, or maybe even download also. Maybe I can go with this one, or if you want others as well, you just have a look which is good for you, which suits your best. Okay, in my case, let me take this one. I will just download. Okay, this was already downloaded, right? I mean, this is downloaded. Okay, then good. So here, just go and download. That's it. Once you download, you should find it. In my case, if you want this also I have downloaded. So this is why it is showing for me to disable or uninstall. So I hope this is clear till now. Now, once I basically install the extensions, if I go back, I can just click here. If I go back to my code, that is my, where is that? Here, right? Now, okay, if I want to type something now, let's say this is a name, right? I can simply name nothing but is simply mentioned as a YAML. The ML is spelling correct. Okay, you can mention as a name. If you put a name, if you see here, right, name, you can give a quotes. Again, you have to give, you should not give a name. I mean, you should not give the value now. You have to give one space, not the tab. Remember, space you give. How many times space? You just need to give not the two times. You have to give only one time space this time. Okay. So I can copy paste it this one, or anything name that you would like to. As I told you, this is a string. Let me put a string like this. This is how you cannot give the two space here. If you two space, then the format would not be the as expected. So it should be one space. So you should know when to give a one space, when to give a two space. Whenever you want to define the name or maybe any kind of this thing as a string, in the same line you need to define as a single tab. I mean, what you call space, not the double. Okay. Same for a city. Okay, I can simply copy paste it. As I told you, this is nothing much, just to save some time. That's where you can give a single space. Okay, even here also single space. Now let us know when, let us see when I can give a double space now. Now if you see here, what you call this is basically list basically we want to say array also we can call it. We all know fruits everybody eats, right? So let's say I want to list all the fruits, so you can simply mention fruits, right? Whenever I want to give as fruits, I can give a always do. You cannot give something like this. You should not give like this. This is not the way it should be working. You cannot give like this space. If this has to be just after the name, after the key. So you should always give like this. You cannot give like this or not. It should be always just after the key. Okay. So I have given it. Then after this only, in the value sessions, you just need to as I told you, this has a list of the, this is not the one list. If I want, I can actually give like this also this time, right? If I want, I can just give like this also, no problem. I can give like this. There's nothing wrong here. But problem here is that I'm not just having one apple, right? I need to list two different fruit name, right? This is why if you want to define a list of the basically list of the whatever the items, I always need to use this one dash. So this is the reason I cannot use like this. Okay. So in order to use the list, as I told you, come down. As you come down, you have to give it two space. Now remember, this time you have to give it two space. One, two. Two space I have given. As soon as you given two space, what you see here, dash you see, right? Let me put this in. I mean hyphen. Now, again, after putting hyphen, that means two space I given, then I given a hyphen. Now give one more space again. This is how it should be used. You cannot give after the just hyphen, you cannot give the whatever the name. You have to give one more space now. Now only you can copy paste the name that you, whatever name you have. This time you will not define a double quotes, because as I told you, this is a list of the strings, right? This is a string basically, sorry, list. So this time you don't need to define. Only if you define as an individual string, that time you didn't define a double quotes. This time you don't need it. So I can just copy paste it. Same way I can do bananas as well as this thing. In the same, because if you want to, because as I mentioned, I want to list all the fruits. That means I want it has to be within the same line of the fruit itself. I have to just copy paste. Okay. So automatically one thing we need to understand is there. You see, if I just click here, let me just see. If let me click here, okay, let me just enter. Automatically they will understand. See, they normally I should be going here, right? It should come from here, but automatically if you're taking, they are taking here. If I enter here, they are taking directly here. The reason why, because I have installed the extensions, that is the YAML extensions. So they know the data structure, how you based on your existing data. So as I told you, this is basically to define the list of the fruits. So this is why I have defined this. I want to list all the fruit. So first two I have done, so they can easily, YAML can understand me. Okay, this you are trying to basically list the list of the fruit. This is why in the same line it is coming the to define what they call has, I mean hyphen. Now I can use the orange. Okay, this is one of the way. As I told you, if you want to define another way, same thing you can give as a, this time I'll give as a fruits, but this time it will be duplicate. Of course it will be duplicate. Why reason issue coming? Because same name here also there, we cannot have the same name. If you see, a map key must be unique. That means, as I told you, this name and this name are same. You cannot have the same name within the same YAML file. It has to be unique. So let me put this time double S instead of the S. You see the error is gone. Now, as I told you, instead of defining the like this is the arrays basically. I can mention the list now, right? I can define a list now directly. How can I do? Just using the uh, this is called as a square bracket. This is mostly used in your Terraform. Okay, whenever you want to list all the list of the strings, maybe the thing you can basically pass with the help of like this double quote. I mean, what I call square bracket. Now you can call like this. Okay, then you can give a copy paste it or do just you have to put comma because it has to be different, right? So you can call like this space after comma. If you give a space also okay. If you don't give a space also, that's also okay, but it is best practice to give one space always after comma. Okay, you if you don't give a space after the comma also, that is also no issue, that should work still. But as part of the best practice and to look much better, we will basically try to use the space just after the is fruit name. This also we can do it. Now next we'll go, as I told you, now we need to define the list of the users, basically list of the strings. List of strings. Now strings means, as I name suggests, right? String means this is basically some name, right? So now as you can see, this is the name of the persons. This time I can call something like this. Yeah, I can use as a users, and simply what you can do here. This is basically, if you don't have to give a space and enter also, no problem. You can directly use the here enter also, you can do, no issue. Now as I told you, this time I want to list all the username. There are also same way we can define two different ways. One is just like above how we did, but this time as I told you, it is a string. Whenever you're defining string, we have to use double quotes, if you remember, right? I told you, if you remember, this also be use a double quotes here. Now same way, if you're using this thing, this time I will have to use it. If you see here list, right, I can simply uh, one two space I did, then I can use a hyphen again space. Now this time I can call with the username, whatever name of the person. I can call something like this. Double quotes is important. First use a double quotes, then I can copy paste it. This is one way of doing it. Let's say if you have not, let's say uh, I will show you one more. I will give you just a Bob as a name. Now let's say I have given another one. Automatically see they will take me into the right indentation. I will give space. Now let's say, as I told you, after indentation I have to give you one space, right? I have one space. Now let's say this time I have given before the quotes, double quotes. What happens now? Now if you see lines, this is not in the right format, or it looks a little missing, right? So if I want to basically make this also, okay, if I want to make this also like this, I have already written, right? Let's say this is a big name, something like the very big name. If I have like this, something like this, this still string, right? This still string, right? In this case, what you have to do, you if you do, you cannot. How can you make something like this now? In this case, if you want to do like this, you can simply copy till from the end to the point to the last. Just then once you select this thing, you can use the double quotes. Shift the quote button is on. See, automatically it is organized this way. This also we can do it. Okay, so it depends on if you're how you want to do it. Okay, so this way we can do. So next we will have it. That's as I told you, this also another person name. This time also I can simply use code double quotes first. I'll try to use double quote always first and put it inside it. So I hope this is clear. Now let's go with an like a number or integer or float. Now what is integer? Integer, everybody knows the data type, right? Integer basically is just a number, numeric number. But what is a float? Float is with the some number, and at last with some point number will be there, right? Whatever value you have after the dot. This is called as a float. You might be knowing this when you're searching, right? So this is how we can define integer. Is, let's say, is basically a number, right? So if you give a age now, you should know the data type. Age mean I need to mention the basic some numeric number, right? So sorry, not as n, it is age. I can just give age maybe. Now, as I told you, this time is just a number, right? It is not anything, and so you can give a one space and can give any number 25. Similar way, if you teach some other number, let's say your height or anything, you can mention height or anything like that, no? So it's h, I g h, height, height, something like h g I g h. Okay, so high if you give, let's say, in my case this is some peer, you can give something like 5.5, let's say, or 5.10, whatever. So this is called as an integer, right? So sorry, this is an integer, this is a float number, right? So we need to know when to use a float. Float basically is a only one digit number, one single number. If you see, height mean, as we know, something dot, some point will be there, right? In that case it will be using a float. This is called as a float. This will be called as a integer because it's just a number, numeric number. Same thing for the boolean. Boolean is nothing but it is a true or false, right? If you want to work with something, let's say this is something whether it is true or it is false. In this case we can use a boolean. So we all know this one. So like as you can see here, is active. Whether it is active or not, they want to say. In this case, we can simply try true false here. Let's say true mean true, false mean false. Like this we can define. This is called as a boolean type, data type. We have others also. Same thing for the null. Null, basically if you see here, basically nickname given as a null, that means there is no any nickname, right? So this also we can define. Then we have a list in the YAML, like a list of strings. As I told you, list of strings we have already learned. This time this is a cities, list of the cities, so we can define something like this as well. This is a list of the string, okay, and list of the number. Let's say within the marks, if you want to list all the marks, you can mention something like this. What you see is only this one, right? This, as I told you, if you want to list everything, you just need to use a double space and then hyphen, then again space, single space, not a double space, single space, and use a number now, whatever number that you want to define it. Then same way, this is very important. Let's say this is basically list of object or list of the dictionary. Now what is a dictionary option meaning? Dictionary basically can contain the many informations within particular object, right? Say for example, employee is here one object details, and the let's see, this is employee. Now this is once within employee. In my case, employee, who's the employee now, right? In within the employee, I can mention the name of the employee. So as I told you, if you want to mention the this thing, I always need to use the double space one two. If you want to define the any name, right, double space I given, then I use a what do you call that, indentation, that is the using the hyphen. Okay, now I can give a single space again. Now I can define the basic name, right? Because I want to call now that means I can use the, now I can define the name of the persons, whatever name this is. Remember, this is a basically dictionary, right? Option. Why dictionary? Because it has a different data structure. Okay, now this is the name I have defined it. In the same line, now automatically they will try, because as I told you, it is extension we have it. Next, we have a age, because I'm saying within the same employee details, I want to know the name age also. I mean the person age also. So what I can do, same like this one, under the name. Now if you see here under name, this particular person name, right? I have to give a age now. This time you don't need anything, because this is a within the what you call person. This thing, right? I can give any name, sorry, any age. Now same way, department. Now department also, this is a department for who, about who, this particular person's department, right? So I can, it should be within the same line, right? Now I can give this thing codes, then I can give anything that is IT. Okay, then what is next? Now if you see here again, this is another name, right? That means employees means, as I told you, employees mean it is not a one person. I want to define two different persons details, or maybe three or maybe four, right? Now how it has been, you just need to see here. If you want to define like this is called as a list of object. We can use first this thing under name, we have to use something like this. Then same way, we can simply call another name. It has to be, because this should be in the same line this time, because this is a one person details. I need to define another person detail in the same line. This time I will just simply show some other name. Let's say I'll give as maybe money. So this time I can give a age, right? We know, let's say, sorry, it's I can give as anything, let's say 26. I can give a department. You can give anything that you wish to give. Let's say in my case it is let's say IT team. IT team we have given HR, something like that, right? So this all we can define, but this is okay. But what if you have a more data structure, like more in detail? Let's say I want to define the address, right? If you want to address the address, where can I put the address now, right? Now this is where we need to understand. This is all called as a what is a dictionary, right? Base. This is a Mexican. You can ignore this one. This is a listen. Now we have something called object map or just dictionary. Basic object. This one already we know, right? We have already done this one also. City. Right. Here also, as I told you, if you want a city in the same line for a particular persons, you can define a city. Just like here, you can define the city here. You don't have to give anything. Just give a city. Then give let's say Bangalore, something like that. Okay, we can give it. Now, this is one way. Now, as we learn, definitely there will be many. This is something called a nested, basically object. Nested objects, as then something that means you have this is let's say company name, company, under company this is the name of the company, Tech Corp. Under here we have locations. In locations, this is how you have to understand. If you see under location, now I need to say what is a country? This is USA, right? What is a city? This is San Francisco. Like this, we can have it. So you just need to see the data structure, how it is being used actually. So in this time, this is called as a nested object. So that means inside some, let's say location, under location, I can directly put a USA. But before that, I want to mention first I want to define the country, then only the USA, like that. In this case, we can define something like this. This is a object like nested object. Same way, we also have a key value mapping. Like this is common, right? Normally if you're going with the Ansible or any other configuration tools, you may need to define some server details. Let's say like this, for example, this is a server 1, this is the IP I want to map, so I can just map like this. So in this case, you don't need to mention the double quotes or anything because this is a number, right? So this is the reason. In number case, or this is normally we can call as a this thing, right? You don't need to define any kind of double quotes or anything. Now we have a similar way, dictionary with a nested object. Now if you see here database, under database we have a MySQL, under MySQL within the, that means what is meant by, if you notice here, that means you just need to notice this data structure first. Maybe let me keep this one into my here so that it'll be easy to see better way. I will just keep it here. Why it is coming like this? This is because it is not an YAML syntax. So I want to put, I have to put like this. This is a command, right? So I need to put a hash. Now let's understand. Now whatever you see, how I need to understand. Okay, first thing, see the high level. This is basic database. That means I'm talking about database related. Under database, what I have something called as a MySQL. Now within the MySQL or inside the MySQL, I have a host known as local host. And within the same MySQL itself, I also have a port that is 3306. Same way, I also have within database, I have another database that is host. This is the IP and this is the port they are being used. So that means this is how we need to understand. That means whatever you see inside, that means this is all nested, right? Nested object. So together, if you see, this is all basically dictionary. Together call as a dictionary. Now object mean nested object mean inside the each object, this is one object, right? This is one object. This is another object. Now this, that is why this is all within what? Within database, right? This is why they call as a nested object, because inside each object itself, you have other informations, right? This is an object of the SQL object. Within the SQL object, you have it local, local host, host and the port, right? So this is part of your SQL. We can call as a nested object. Okay. All right. Now let's go next one. That is a multi-line strings. Now multi-line strings means ethereal blocks. We can use a pipe symbol. Okay. Now we can, let's say if you want to describe something like that, like multi-line, basically if you want to define, we can define something like the descriptions. You can use anything. This is a big line, right? Normally what we can do, if you want to define some description, let's say I can simply go description one. This is mean I want to comment this way also I can do it. This is just a comment, but description means you simply, you can copy or maybe type it. So this also, as I told you, after descriptions, you would have if you just notice there is no any space, there is just this thing. Then you can define one space you give. You will not see two space. If I give this is giving and throwing an error because the syntax are not correct. So if you give one space, automatically the syntax going to be removed. I mean error is going to be removed it for you. Okay, that's how we need to understand. So as I told you, now if I here now do here, now this one, this is a multi-line strings. That means I have this is a one thing, this is another line. Now I can do in many ways, but this is one of the way of doing in YAML. So let me copy paste it. That means it has two different this thing line, right? First, this is another one line. This is a second line of this thing written, right? Now this is how it should be. But instead of this one, I can also use otherwise. Let's say I just want to use this one as a this thing, right? What I can do this one, as I told you, this is a description. Okay, but this description, let's say I want to give as a comment. How I can do that one? I can simply use now it throwing an error. Now you have to use a here. This time means I'm command. This means it is not a command. I'm giving descriptions because description means it has a so many line of the written code based on the purpose of the description or maybe that you're going to do, right? So if you want to give a description in the long description, you can use something like this. Okay. Now let's go with the um, folded blocks joins lines into one. So as you can see, this also became summary, and they can use this like this also. If you want to join one into one, that means you can use something like this. Okay. And same thing, comments, as I told you, we have already learned this also. We can use a single hash. Okay. But if you want to use also something like this also we can use it. Okay, but it's okay. You can use a single hash always. Okay. Now name. If you want to define the let's say name, in this case is John, but inline comments, this is basically comment using the hash, right? So I can define within the your code also, YAML code as well. That means if I want to define inside here something like this, I can just to make sure the this thing I can mention like this. This will be as a comment for this particular port. I mention port number for, can mention the MySQL, MySQL, so that people can understand it. It will not be as a this thing, it will be as a command, so that by seeing this command, what it is, by seeing the by seeing this command, they can understand it. That's how we can define it. Okay. Let's go with next one. Um yeah. So this basically we have a default alias settings, right? Alias also, if you want to define, we can do if you want to define with some other like this, something like this, but normally this will be little advanced, so you don't need to do this. But yes, if you want to, you can do this also using the YAML, just like in Git we use using alias command, right? We try to set up same way we can do it here. And here we have a command, right? So you just need to have a look once how it works basically. For now, this and all, you don't have to worry, this is little advanced, but let's not focus that in details. Let's go now basically to the documents, how we can refer it. So I hope till now you have some idea how to basically how the YAML syntax works, but definitely I will have I'll be giving you some notes for that. And meanwhile, I will take you to the official documents where I can maybe show you that is specific for your pipeline. Okay, let me take you back. So I have basically tried to say you can mention something like this, anything you can mention. So I'm just trying to find basically some documents. So in my case, I have tried it, and I could see this one of the things. This all we know it normally whenever you're writing pipelines in YAML, right? I mean Azure pipelines, it will be in YAML syntax only, YAML file. So as I told you, YAML is very preferably every company use because it is quite easy to understand and also work with YAML, right? So let's see exactly what we mean to basically this thing. Let's go with the first ones. If you can notice here what it says there, create your first pipelines using YAML, right? So if you go come down, there is a depends on the application that you're going to work with. Say for example, if you're working with the .NET based applications, you can select this one. If you're working with the Python, you can select the Python. If you're working with the JavaScript or Java. So it's everything is documented. Okay, all you need is to explore actually. So let's go one of them. As we have already worked with the .NET, let's take an example of the .NET. Now you have already know, right? Also to get started, fork the following repository into your this thing. So this particular this thing, we can take this one, we can fork this also if at all require, maybe this thing. But yeah, if you don't need, that's okay, right? So okay, what we can do, if you want to try this also this time, we can try. Let me go. What is that? Duplicate. Sorry, where is that? Here, right? I can fork this one. Then you can go to create, install, everything we can do. So what I'll do this time, maybe I'll try to see if I can maybe go back here. Sorry, not here. Okay, I will fork here just for the testing purpose. Go to the, can somebody tell me how can I fork this one? Go repository. You have to click basically to your, I will open one. I just simply anyway open a program. I can simply click here. This will take to the official documents. As you click here, official documents, this is how the core is already been designed by Pipeline.NET Core. This is basically managed by Microsoft, right? So if you can click there, this you can properly shown here. That means you have logged in. Otherwise, you have to log in first, okay, in your GitHub account. So I have already logged in. So it's why I'm able to see. I can see here fork option. In this case, I'm going to be bring basically the same copy of the repository is going to be uh, created in my local GitHub account. Local in the sense in my remote GitHub local account. So I'm going to keep as it is. I don't want to do any changes. Let's see. So so we have almost going to be basically forking this one. Then right now, as you can see, my name, and this is what you can see now. So it's good. Now let us see if you go to your name, or you can directly go to anywhere. You can go to the repository or whatever way you can explore it. So in my case, let me go to repository. Under here, I have the .NET which I have cloned it just now. Maybe what is the name? Let us see. This one, right? Just now I have done it. Pipeline.NET Core. So this is basically public. So if you see here, this, as I told you, this has a complete code for you to basically understand it. But let's not uh, uh, go the details for now. What we do, what we want is that I want this to be used in my pipeline. So how can I do that? Let's go back to my basically what you call DevOps portal. You can just type your, go to your organizations, whichever organization that you're working with. So as I know, I mean, as I told, we are working with particular organizations. So let's go there. All right, so as you can see, let me take maybe click, I mean, I will select this one, the first organizations. Let me go to my this thing. We have already done it, right? This and all, but I want to show you with the end, with documentation, based on documentation. Okay, now if you go to the pipelines, uh, whatever we have, we can ignore for now. But let me create new repository, I mean pipelines. Now it is asking me where is your code. This time, as I told you, the code is in your GitHub. If you want to bring it to the your Azure repo, that also you can do it. If not, you can also do it using, I mean, from your GitHub. In my case, right now it is in GitHub. Let me select GitHub. So this time, basically, I will have to select. This is the one, right? Just 2 minutes ago, we have forked it. So let me select. This is the repository that I am going to be working with. Now, as I type here, I mean, as I select here, uh, first for the first time, because I'll be getting something like this. The reason being basically why I'm able to see this one. is because if you just take a look here, what it says basically, right? Access repository under integration applications, right? We have something called as a all repository or select repository. That means even the pipeline also basically repository to access it need to have the permissions. This is the reason why it is asking me now. Now you can also select all repository, mean all the pipeline would have access now. All repository would have permission access to the pipeline. So otherwise, if you want to run the pipeline for specific repository, you can maybe select whichever that you would like to work with. Okay, so but as I told you, we have where is that this thing? Okay, now in this case, right now, this is the one, right? We are going to be working. This is coming if you select the repository file. Why this is actually showing as a suggested? Because other repository, whatever we have done, it is already there. But this is something new. Maybe they will try to understand. Maybe you're trying to use this one. So I will mention as yes, okay, this one. So I, if you see here, this is the one. But I do what I do. This time I can maybe ignored because all others are already there. Okay, so I will select this one. It is already selected also. If you don't want this one to be given access, you can just use this button to cancel it or to remove from here, right? As I told, this all being already working, so this is why it is coming. But this is as I suggested because this is a new one. So anyway, it's okay for me. Now it is also telling me that danger zone, suspend your installation if you at all don't want. You can see uninstall Azure pipelines. So no problem. I'm okay with this one. Let me approve and install it. So basically what it is going to do now, if you see here, let's wait. It is going to ask me to use login credentials. Now, if you see here, tagging you to your Azure DevOps organizations. Now see, now it is cloned. Now, as soon as I click here, right? As soon as I click here, there is a option like a new pipeline, configure your pipeline starter and existing. That means if you have already existing pipeline that you can use it. If you have let's say we want to start with a new, you can select this one. Otherwise you can click here, select all. Now as you click all, what you see here is that you, they will try to suggest there's so many template you get. This is all predefined, like or you can call as a like a predefined pipeline for you to work with. In our case, we are working with a .NET based application. Most probably we are going to choose something like very similar, right? We can choose something this one, right? ASP.NET Core or .NET Framework. So this is what we are going to choose according to the um, where is that? Here, if you remember, we have chosen the .NET. Maybe this is similar to us, right? Our work. So let us select this one now. I will select this one. Now, as you select here, just like last time, how it is been built, same way it is coming now. So now this is okay. Now, what is the next now? Next, it says that I have done it. Now, what it says, Hriyen, this all I have done it, right? I have approved it, I have selected, I have run it. Now I have to save, and this is the name I have to give it. So till here, I am going to follow basically the documentations according to documentation. Okay, I will follow the documentation. So nothing, I'm not going to do any changes till now. It's just a simple code, just like how we have done last time. Fine, all right. Now let me just click here. I can this name, you can give any name. I can simply mention as a commit name as a host commit using Microsoft. Any name you can give it. I mean this thing. Okay, Microsoft documents. All right, this is optional again. Now, as I told you, this is right now is a whatever branch you're working with. So I will keep it. If you see here, this is a master, right? So no problem. Let it be master. I will just click. So now it is trying to create it for me now. Whatever commit I did that you have given, this we have got it. Okay. Now this is the first thing. Now let's see the next what it says now. Next, um, yeah, We are good here. Now we have to come to pipeline. It is asking me to go to pipelines and do this thing, what you call something called as you basically under coming to pipeline, you can click here. You can say view and manage your pipeline. Basically, how to view and pipeline, you have to see that also, right? So let's wait. So as you can see right this screen. So right now you can see here by coming to the pipelines where you can basically see the pipeline running. Okay. Meanwhile, what I'll do is that I will give one more best practice that if you notice, whatever pipeline we have run till now, in fact, it is all running here, right? And looks sometimes it's very messy because it is difficult to track or understand for this particular pipeline is used for which purpose, right? We don't know. So what we can do is instead of this one best practice, what we can do is that um, let's see it's fail. Okay, interesting. You can see bill is fail now. Can you tell me why the bill is fail? Maybe if you just check it. Now the solution for not found because maybe as I told you, this is a this thing document. So maybe sometime the repository may not have updated the this thing. This is why it is showing the solution here is not finding. Right. Oh, before that, let us go back to our this thing. Let us see how it has been defined. Solution file, release, Microsoft installer, solution. Okay, this is good. Okay, no problem. So it is showing basically this thing. Now what we can do in this case, for simplicity purpose, I will command this one. Okay, the reason why I want to command because I want to pass the pipeline first because our work is not to see, our work is to basically understand the this thing. I will just make this one as this thing. I will remove this also maybe. I don't need for now. I can use the control then question marks. Okay, control question mark will be everything will be commented out. Now let me save it because there is a issue with the repo that can be a cause. So let's not understand. I mean for now troubleshoot that. Let's just run the pipeline to basically work with this thing. Now whatever pipeline we see with a failed pass that is secondary. Now if you go here from pipeline landing panel, you can view the panel this thing, Hriyen one. Otherwise, if you have already existing, we can use our existing also some of the pipeline. Okay, but as I told you, I just want to show that is a thing. We can use your any other pipeline also. It is the same concept. Okay, because in this particular pipeline, sorry, repository maybe there is some issue with the repository itself. So that is the reason. Anyway, let's wait. Meanwhile, if you come down, this all we can see, right? All we have done this all here we can see details everything. One thing I will show you now. This nothing job we can manage this all we have learned that time. So we can cancel it if you want. Yeah, this one I will show you this also a little bit. That's important. Let's wait. Okay, okay. Meanwhile, what we have to do, as I told you, this particular it is success right now because I have removed this thing. There is some dependency issue, so it is passed now. Now this particular pipeline is passed, but now let me go inside. This looks messy, right? Let me go inside. Now if you see these are first let me give a small little brief. If you can see here we have a run means in this particular applications or maybe particular repository we have it or this many runs. Okay, then we have a branch. In our case this is the branch we have, that is a master branch. We can see the history, how many times it is run, and also what is the last run. This is all defined. If you see the date, this is a month, this is a date. Okay, this is basically a year. That's how it has been this thing, and you can see what we have changed. This is one way of doing it. Now, if you go to the analyze, what we need to understand is that for every single pipeline, basically, right? Whenever you think there is something called as a pipeline rate pass. Sorry, pass rate. So what it means basically, if you see here, no run complete in last point, it says this thing. Maybe it takes some time to basically this thing. For now, we can ignore it. You can filter it also if you want to, in fact, see also. Because as I told you, this is a new repository. We do not see, but if you go with the old repository, yes, you would be seeing that. Okay, let's go next one. Then here, test red pass. So as I told you, test red pass right now we don't have anything because our test is failed, right? So definitely you will not see anything. Then we have pipeline durations, everything. So this is one of the way that we need to basically understand. Okay, now question is, okay, then do one thing. Let's go take the new one which is working, right? So that it will be easy for us to understand better. Let me take another pipelines that is already working, which we were working yesterday or maybe last week. Okay, I will select maybe one of them. This one, this was working fine, right? So if you go here, this is, as I told you, there are so many. Normally, we will not be doing this way. It has to be organized. So as I told you, first thing you can see the all the run pipeline. Second thing, this is a commit ID. You get it. For every single commit, there will be a different commit ID created, right? So then we have a branch. Here we have master branch. Now we have this also. Now we have analyst, just like as I told you, because as I told you, this is a branch that we have already what do you call define all the like build and all. So now you can see here pipeline rate product 90% out of 100. Okay, so 10 run, 10 times it run. Now if you see here 100% of pipeline failures are due to failure in task job failure for agent. So as we all know, right, agent is the person who's taking care of the tasks that you have defined in your pipeline. So this is the reason why basically for every single task, let's say if there is any fail or anything, we have to check this also. Let's say in the pipeline, sometimes there's many situations. Let me give one situation, like say for example you are building the application that is a Java or Python. It is taking a lot of time to build applications. That time, how are you going to troubleshoot, right? You may not have any clue. You will be thinking, okay, it is running, but you may not be wondering what is going on in the background. This is the reason why we need to understand and analyze it by coming to the particular pipelines, come to the analysis, and you have to see this one, and also you have to see this is important. Okay, if it is by taking a lot of time, then you have to come under analysis within the pipelines and check this one. You can see a succeed 9, run 9, right? So that means you can see how many minutes it's taking to basically run for each job. Now, you can also read here 45 point some percent of total run is taken by step BS build. So it is very clear. Now let me take one by one. Let me give a small brief about this one first. Let me click here. As I told you, this is how we need to understand it. Now to troubleshoot, what I need to understand here, pipeline failure report. So this basically, if there is any pipeline which is failed for any reason, right, you have to come here and then see where the issue is, right? First thing, as I told you, 90% pass means somewhere it is failed right now. So you can see the date also when it is everything. This will help you to understand when and all the fail was happened. Now, if you come little down, you can see like a failure trend, where you can also see something like you can see the number of failure. That means how many number of failure happens till now or maybe certain time. So if you can see 100% of pipeline failures are due to the failure in tasks. This is the, as I mentioned, mostly here we get it. So we have this thing. Now, if you click here also, you can maybe click here. You can check here also here. What is this date? What is the date? It's 3/17/2025. One failure happened. So that means you can easily understand when the issues happen, right? So by clicking here also we can understand it. Let's go next. Now, what we see here, failure runs. This means run time. Top 10 failing tasks. what is the top 10? They can be, you can basically this thing, check that one, top 10 recent one. Under default, basically we have a job failure for agent. No, you can see something here like let me just scroll. Yeah, failure for one agent. Maybe there was some issue with the agent related. Also, we can see this also. Top one failing task causing 100% failure. So like that also we can see what is it. So every single thing we can basically check it. If you click here under task also, where it is, everything we can see this also. Okay, task. So fine. Now I hope this is till now you have some idea. It if you want to this thing also we can change it according to your want to see your logs or report. I can filter it last 3 months maybe. Sorry, 6 months, right? Now you can also see here this is basically filter option. Why filters use depends on your case to case. Now what filter I can do, if you just click on the filter button, you can see I can filter with the particular brands, particular head this thing also I can see, right? This also where I can check this way also. Okay, let's go with the next one now. I hope till now it's clear. Let me go next one, that is test pass. Test pass is not a test that we have built in the MBS build, right? I mean in VS Code. This we are talking about the tests that we are conducting. Let's say you have a different testing tools. Could be many. It could be infrastructure or code testing or maybe application testing. We have different tools, right, to use it. So that time also, if that to be passed, yes, you can see right now, as I mentioned, we have not done till now anything. So you cannot see anything. Even if you want to filter, you can say fail, pass, so many other options, right? So you can select your which brands, priority, test run, everything we can filter it out. So that is also option. So you can filter here, depends on build, release, whether you want to do a release or build, which branch you want to check with, and I mean check for, and then which days. So you have so many options to explore it. Okay, as I mentioned, we will explore this later. For now, let's go to the last one. That is basically, this is very important. This many times what happens, pipeline taking a lot of time to build the applications, right? So this time you need to basically, or maybe fail time you have to check here. If it is taking a lot of time, then you have to come here and analyze it. So let me take inside, let me go inside of the pipeline duration report. Now what we see here is the first thing, it is a pipeline duration. Okay, 18% tell, that means 80% of the work basically, task basically there is a pipeline successful. Okay, 20% is fail. So let's see that. So if you see 9 success pipeline runs, 9 success means 9 times succeeded. You can also filter, as I told you, just like this thing also. I don't want to filter anything. Let's go with default. And now next, you can also see the date, as I told you, just like that. You can check the date, everything. This is duration, okay, in second. And now is, as I told you, this is for the what, pipeline duration taking, how long is taking. Now if you notice here, we have like this is the basically which are taking the more time. First one, the BS bill to build application, this is taking too much. This is the number one. That means this will be the highest one, which is taking more time, right? The second is the nigger commands to run it. This also taking second number, this thing, and so on. Then check out jobs and everything is taking time. So this how we can understand. Now let's say if your bill is taking time in, you can simply come here. What is the top 8 or maybe top 10 you have like duration is mode, by seeing this in from the top end, it is the highest number, from the till down end, it is the lowest number. Okay, that's how we need to understand. That means now it is very clear for us to understand that there is an issue in your pipeline to build a BS build code. To build the application, that is a task when they use the BS build, right? And then nigger command. So this will help us to analyze it and what can be improved with, right? All right, so I hope till now is clear. Now if you come here a little bit, you can also see step duration, seconds. This if you want to see, you can check like this, see for each one, right? Now let me go with next one. Now if today, what is the date? 29, right? To 29. Now depends on whenever you run the pipeline. Now if you see here, let's say 29, I run it. I mean today is 29. I see yesterday. Now if you see here, you can check. To build the particular application that is a APS build, it took 20 point some second, 25.13 seconds, and then another commands took another second, 20 points and 90 seconds, like that. We can actually understand it. So this will help us to analyze it. How long actually is taking? Does it take, right? Same way, initially if you're doing, it may take more time. See, you can see now the MSBS build, it is taking 2.82 seconds, and then second is taking 52 seconds, almost 1 minute. So this is basically how we need to understand and troubleshoot it. So I hope this is okay for now. Now if you come down again, top 8 steps by duration account for 100% or executions. So that also we can say, that means which are 100% successful done, right? If you see here, you can check it. Now as I told you, basically we need to see this also. Now let's go the next one. Next is what else says. Okay, this all we know. Okay, here I need to explain one more thing as well. Let me come to the pipelines. Okay, I will select maybe, yeah, I will select this one. Okay, as I mentioned, you can see so many runs happen within the same repo. Now same thing, we have checked everything. Now if you see the name is not proper name and this thing. Now I want this name to be, I don't want this name to be like this. I want some desired name, like some naming convention I want to follow, or some standard I want to follow. How can I make that? And also this looks very messy because there's so many things. I want to organize this. I want to see this something like this. How can I make little you know, in the in the what do you call that, in the make it, to make more easy to maintain basically, right? So if you go here under repository, I mean under your pipeline repository, go there, there is a three dot, click there, there is an option to see security management, in case if you want to manage some security related, like if you want to give permission for this particular repository as well, you can do from here also. There is an option what permission you need, whether you want to destroy bills and edit pipelines, so many things you can. If you can see, some of them already heritage that is coming from your organization level, because whatever permission is granted in the organization, those will be inheritance here. But some of them are not given access. In this case, you may need to update if at all required. All right, first thing. Second thing is, this is very important. That is, what is that? This is for your name rename move. That means, as I told you, I don't want this name to be something like this. I want some unique name, and also I want to organize this basically what is a run pipeline, right? So how can I make? Go here, go here. Now I can make folder name. Now that means all this pipeline, whatever I have inside this repository, whatever pipeline I have run, I have so many pipeline running, right? I want to make all these available in one particular folder or directory. That means I want to move all the this thing into one particular folder or directory. Let us do. You can give any name that you wish. In my case, we are using a .NET based application. I can simply use as a, let's say, .NET um, applications. This is basically folder name. You can give any name. It's not a thing. And now you can change the name you wish to give. In my case, instead of giving this name, I can simply give as a .NET application. Don't be confused. This is a folder name. This is the thing. Otherwise, I can change this name something else. For infra, I'll mention. Sorry, application. This is a application, under application folder, right? Under application folder, I want to keep this .NET all pipeline related things. Now I can simply move. Now you can see how it is going to be organized. Now let me refresh it once. Now if you come down, What is that? Pipelines. Under pipelines, we have it this thing, right? You can see how it is organized now, right? Yeah, this all look messy, everything. If you go inside like this, you get to see many things. This is less, but wherever you see more, they will be having a lot of things, right? So so in order to basically manage this one in one particular like this folder, it is basically all the folder, I mean, like whatever we have, let's say all different pipeline also, if you want to move into this particular folder, now you can do. Let's say I want to move and that same applications, for this also we can do it. If you go here, let's say I want to move, right? If you here, if you have already, you can, there is an option, browse option, there is application, all the folder is, click that one. Now I can move this also. This name I can change to, instead of this one, I can give this name just to make this thing. Now that means all different two different pipeline also moving to particular folder. This looks much simpler, right? So I have done this also. Let me go back now. Now you see this also when under here. So now it looks much simpler. Now if you, instead of going to the inside pipeline, you simply go to pipeline applications. Under here, you can see basically the here. Let me take you under application. I mean, okay. If you go in under application, you will see like this different pipeline you can actually monitor, right? So this is one way of doing. Second thing, there is an option also called as, sorry, let me go one of the pipelines. I can click, you have to go one of the pipeline. There's something called as a, okay, before that, let me show you settings. Settings also, basically, let's say in this particular pipeline, if you don't want to basically manage it, or if you don't want to, uh, basically, if you, I mean, if you want to disable it, you can disable it. If you want to enable it, you can enable it. Enable means pipeline can run anytime when there is any trigger happen. Disable means even the trigger happen also, pipeline will not be triggered. Okay, so that you can do it, or you can do a pause. So in my case, I can do either one. So let it disable for now. Okay, I have disabled it. Whenever I want again, I can come to the same pipeline. I can again go. There is a settings and enable it whenever you want to. Okay, let's not enable for now. Next, this is very important. Now, um, this is about a .NET code, right? In my case, now .NET code, we have it, the new one. In my case, I want to, there is something called as a, where is that? Here, status base. What is status base now? Now, in the sense, this will help you best. Say, for example, you are working, you're a developer, or maybe you're from different team. Now, what you need is that whenever the pipeline is running, whenever the pipeline is success or fail, automatically somebody within your team, or maybe set up the person, or they have to know, right, this also, because let's say they don't have access here DevOps portal, they have access to GitHub, or maybe some other they have access now, right? Or can be they want to basically track every single change, every single commit whenever the pipeline is running, right? They want to know the status of the pipeline, whether it is fail or the pass. That time we can do, or we can enable something called as a status base. That means whenever the pipeline is passed, then they can get a success message. If it is a fail, they can get a fail message with a red color. So how can we do that? How can we do? Because it is in Azure DevOps, but I want to do in GitHub. Is it possible? Yes. You can do within the Azure repo also. Same way you can do in your GitHub also. But in our case, this particular core in GitHub, right? How can we do? Simple. So first go to this repository. So we know the repository name now. So what is the repository? We'll take you there. I will open one more different tab maybe, right? Let me go to the, sorry, GitHub. Okay, so this is, I'm here now, and I'll go to the repository. So I'm talking about this one, right? Right now, the build is pass, but I cannot see anything here, right? Now, let me do one thing. Now, there is something called as a readme.md, right? You search for the readme.md. You can see the readme.md. Go here, edit it. That means go to readme.md there, edit it. Here, now you are here, right? You want to basically whenever you run pipeline for your GitHub in in GitHub, this particular whenever it is successfully pass or fail, right, in your Azure pipelines, that time even those whoever having access to GitHub account, those person should be able to know like whether it is pass or fail. So this is the reason why we need to configure it. Now I came to the pipeline, but first time you have to configure first. You have to first time run the pipeline for the first time, whether it is pass or fail, doesn't matter. So I have done it. So let me click here. There is something called as a sample markdown. I have to copy this one. I just need to copy, not the URL, this one. Now go back to the here. Now I can simply copy paste it here. Now as soon as I copy pasted this thing, I can simply commit to the master branch. This one I'm doing with GitHub, right? Now, now what you see here by default, it is saying GitHub, Azure pipeline setup now. Okay, now what we can do now, let me go back again to my here. In my case, I have done it, right? I have done setup. Now I can run the pipeline once again, maybe, so that maybe I want to run once again. I can go to the pipelines. Where is that? This one, right? .NET. Yeah, this is the one. I will go inside pipeline. I think I have not disabled this one, right? Go pipelines, edit pipelines. Now let me run. Let me run once again. I will commit to the master branch. I can enable it if you at all want this one. What is saying? See, as I told you, build pipeline. This thing is .NET is disabled for project. So so we have disabled it. So this is the reason why I'm saying if it's disabled, it cannot work. So let us enable it first. So how to enable it? Let me come here. There is option settings. There is a enable option. This time only I should be able to run the pipeline once again, right? Okay, now let me go now. Let me go pipelines. In my case, let me save one again. Now, if you see here, you can automatically, as I told you, I have done the changes in the GitHub. Automatically, whatever the last commit, they will take it. But this time, what happens is if pipeline is successfully done or pipeline successfully pass, then in your here you will see, you can understand that this is pass or fail, whatever you can monitor from here also. So let's wait. It may take some time. Okay. Meanwhile, have a look this sort of things. We have so many other options also. Like this is the one I was referring to. You can also refer these documents how to do it. It's very simple for fast forward. Okay. You can see, just have a look, refer the documents and do this one. So I have already given these notes usually, but anyway, I will put it once again in the chart maybe. Okay. All right. So we have done this one. Let's wait. So as you can see, it is successfully done. So pipeline is successfully done. So what we can do now, if pipeline is successful now, if you go to the where is that repo, refresh it. Refresh page. This is a poke. This is a poke one, right? So these changes we have done it. We have to remove this one. I think. Oh, I have removed the sample code. do one thing. I have to make this one some changes because I supposed to be done. If you see here, read me here, right? So what I'll do, I will change that one. This is normally I should be doing in go back. Uh, repository organizations. What is this? This is the one, right? I think we are working here only, right? So if you go here, go to readme, readme.md, right? This is one. So go to edit. So this one I kept here, maybe because of this one. Let me move this one to before the name, like before the name, like that. Now let me run one second, pipeline. Neuron. Okay, that's the first thing. And yeah, you can just have a look these documents as I told. And there is other thing to discuss about pipeline related. I mean, using the YAML, but we have not covered everything. It's just a simple. We are trying to basically do it. Yeah, you can maybe have a look once. There is option called YAML editor, right? This also you can have a look. But within the pipeline also there is something called as assistant, right? We can use the pipeline assistant as well, but we should know the syntax first. So what we will do next class, we will try to, these are the things we have done it, how to write, because we have understood the basic one. Now we will try to basically do something like this script in the YAML syntax. So you don't be like worried much, because this all we can get it with the help of assistant. There is a pipeline assistant, we have it, but then you should know how to use it, where to define the syntax, everything, right? This is the reason what is happening. Pipeline issue not that. Okay, success here is okay, but it's taking some time. It's coming. Um, why it's not coming? Maybe okay. Anyway, we will do another repository. Maybe I don't know why it's not showing here. Normally it should be showing. Okay. If you go to here also, normally pipeline, right? Let me. I have done it, but maybe the color is changed now. I don't know why it's showing. It should come here success actually. Like it should come the green color if it is success. Maybe okay, no problem. We will do another repository later. But this is how we can do it. Okay, there could be some permission issue. We can anyway see that. Here is success, but they're not showing. Maybe yeah. If you go the documents, maybe you can just have a look. What you have to do? Go here, stays. Here go to file. Let me select the this thing you have done it. Main branch. Now you should notice that the badge appears in the descriptions of your repository. So we have already gone under this thing also. Uh, 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 let's refresh once. Hmm, it's not showing here. It should be showing here actually. Anyway, I will show you one second. It should be done. Maybe do not show because of some license related or anything, because it is a public repository we are trying, right? So yeah, I will maybe just do one and show you. This is fine. Now what we'll do, as I told you, you can basically see this also. This is a pipeline basically to understand in details. This is about Terraform, and also you have a different steps. I mean, tasks, and same way you can have a build everything. Then if you go the 16 number, pipeline 16, you have a different. You have a different tasks that is for your Sonar cloud. Okay, so if you type the Sonar cloud also, anyway, we have class for that, how to set up and all. How can I see? Okay, yeah. Sonar cloud is a cloud-based clean code quality and security service that is free for open source projects and often free trial for private projects. So we can use it this also, but how to configure, what are the things we can do with this one, so we will see. And then apart from this one, we can also see what we call that, you can call it as a white source, right? White source. White source. White source identifies every source code components in your software, including dependencies. It then secure you from vulnerabilities and enforce license policy throughout the software development lifecycle. So this is more of the about your vulnerabilities related things. Okay, so let's say if you're using a third-party tools, they will scan that and see, give you feedback if there is any issue with a certificate or dependency or anything like that. So that also will be covering. But yeah, anyway, this you can ignore for now because we need to focus on the YAML first. So this also check this also. Okay, don't try the repository which we have tried. This is not working. There is some issue. I mean, this repository means this one. Don't try here. Try your own repository which is there in your local repo. Okay, looks like some issue with the this thing license and all. Okay, maybe let's wind up the sessions for today. So again, like we'll connect after 2:30 or 3 o'clock. So thank you so much, team. Once again, have a nice